Today in the third ride of the race, the pilots have a wave race, a type of meteorology conditions that helps a lot because they can get a lot of altitude and a lot of speed. It's gonna be a good experience for all of those pilots that are aligning on the threshold. So I think they're gonna enjoy it a lot. Today also is a very windy day. Those are really good conditions for gliding because we have 270 wind and the runway is aligned with the same degrees. So for the towing is gonna be very helpful for the aero tow pilots because they're gonna have less weight to tow. And then for the pilots on the way to Jaca, they're gonna have a very good tailwind conditions and they're gonna have a better ground speed.
Hoy han cambiado las condiciones meteorológicas y toca vuelo de ondas. Vamos a ver qué opinan los pilotos sobre la tarea de hoy.
I fly quite a lot the wave in here in the Pyrenees in Sardinia, but well, it will be very challenging today for sure.
Yeah, wave flight is very different. The climb is generally not at the same places than in thermals. You fly differently. You often try to fly higher than you do in thermals, so it's very different. And for racing, it's very different as well because not many people, and that's also not my case, are used to racing in waves. So we'll see.
La verdad es que el vuelo de onda es muy bonito. Habitualmente no lo practicamos pues nosotros que somos de la zona centro. No tenemos estas condiciones, pero es un vuelo muy bonito y nos gusta mucho. Lo que pasa es que el vuelo de onda es un vuelo mucho más técnico y las diferencias entre ir por el sitio bueno o el sitio malo pues son definitivas. Pueden suponer que te vayas al suelo o que puedas hacer la tarea. Hay veces que tenemos nubes lenticulares, esas que parecen como ovnis que nos marcan el camino, y si hay esas nubes pues es más fácil, pero si no las hay pues puede ser es más complicado que ayer, sí.
It's my first time I'm flying here in Pyrenees. I love Santa Cilia, Pyrenees and everything. So far it wasn't so great. During the Copa Pyreneos I was training myself and it was very nice experience because we were flying rather low than high, so I can probably use it today.
Yo la verdad es que suelo volar en el llano, en la montaña no tengo tanta experiencia y en onda tengo muy poca experiencia, así que la tarea va a ser, para mí la veo difícil. Bueno, yo creo que es difícil para todos, pero bueno, los que tenemos menos experiencia vamos a sufrir un poco más, porque además yo creo que hay que coger la onda, salir luego a térmica, que probablemente será baja, mala y rota, y luego volver a enganchar la onda para volver. Entonces, bueno, pues la tarea es difícil. En todo caso, el día es bonito para volar, intentar coger la onda.
The start line will be open. Second day of competition. Task number 2 was a task that was intended to be with wave conditions or thermal conditions, and finally pilots didn't use the wave. They just used thermals and some moments of rich flying. It was very interesting, and now we are going to talk with the winner. Again, Maximilian Saiz. What do you think of today? It was expected to be some wave, but I think you didn't use it.
There was some on just west of the first turn point, but I think some of us could have climbed in there easily, but I don't think it would have been quicker because the cloud were already at 3,000 meters and there was not too many cloud gaps further on the route, so going above the clouds would probably not have been very quick and useful. So
okay, and well, nice finish with John.
Yes.
And John just crossing 2 valleys from here. He decided to go to the north a little bit, but it didn't work. So you go straight. So good decision.
Yeah.
Huh?
Yeah. Well, I think that was kind of normal Grand Prix tactic because he knew that I was I don't know 50 or 100 meters above him, so he had to try something differently if he wanted to get in front of me. So he tried it. It could have worked because he got a very good climb, but it was, I think it was too close from the finish to make a difference. It maybe 20 kilometers before that it would have been a good choice, but that was too late. I think.
and especially going to the first point, which is the longest leg. There were some places where the ridge work,
Yes.
so you could rely on it.
Yes, I think it worked very well on the with the northwesterly wind on some areas. I don't know the name of the ridges, but before the first turn point. But I was able to stay quite high above the ridges most of the time. So I think that was still the quicker route.
Okay, so congratulations again, Max.
Thank you.
Thank you. With us is Stanislav, who made the 4th of the day. How was the flight today?
It's not easy. Strong wind. I don't like strong wind. When is wave connected with thermals, it is difficult weather. Yes.
Congratulations, Stanislav.
Thank you very much.
We have with us John Gatfield, second position of the day, like yesterday. So first of all, congratulations, John.
Thanks, Joma.
So nice finish with Max, and there was a difference of about 50 meters, and you tried something different. Explain us.
I did. Well, he joined me in about the last 70 kilometres, and we were neck and neck. And then he got one little pull and got about 40 metres higher. And I thought, I'll try something slightly different. Turned right onto the rotor line, and I had a 5 metre climb, and was climbing well, but Max was 5k in front, so couldn't catch him.
Okay, and another second position, fantastic position for you.
I'm
huh?
happy. I'm happy.
Okay, so in general, how was the flight? Tricky, difficult?
The start was difficult. There was a lot of cloud flying, trying to find the wave. I started 200 metres, I think, lower than the permitted height. And I think at Hacker, the first climb I found, I was 1,200 metres. I thought I was in trouble. But then, bang, 5 metres all the way back up to about 2,200. And then I just pushed and used the ridges.
Yeah.
And I think I was on my own for half the flight.
Okay.
Yeah, great fun, really nice.
Okay, so congratulations.
Thank you.
Thank you, John. altavoz encendido. Y ya está. Pues ya, arrancamos ya. Como tú me digas. Okay, welcome to the third competition day at SAILPLANE Grand Prix 2024 Series 12 in Santa Cilia, Jaca, Spain. So welcome to everybody, and first of all let's talk about the results of yesterday. So in third position, Kevin Ford with 110 kilometers per hour, and second position for John Gatfield, 114. 1 minute and a half after the winner, Maximilian Seitz, flying a GS3 50-meter jet at a speed of 115 kilometers per hour. Max won second time in a row. And here you can see the scoring of yesterday. And now, if we see the total, after 2 days of competition, in third position is Kevin Ford. At one point is John Gatfield with 16 points, and at the lead, after two successive winning days, Maximilian Seitz. And for today, they have a race. There were two races, A and B, and finally they are making the A. Sorry, it's a 237 kilometers task. From Borao, they go 54 kilometers southeast to Torrellola de la Plana, passing through Villanúa and Viescas valleys, passing Coturia Mountain and entering Cerrablo Valley. From there, southwest to Huesca Monflorite Airport. In the flatlands, from there, northwest to Riglos in a leg of 45 kilometers, climbing to the Sierra Gratal. From there to the east to Sabayes, 27 kilometers, and then northeast 26 kilometers to the Cerrablo Valley and entering the main Jacetania Valley. This is the task for today, and the weather is quite better than yesterday, especially there's not so much wind like yesterday, so expected about 3,000 meters altitude of thermals. Today is a much more blue day than yesterday, few scattered cumulus expected, and the most important thing will be coming from southern point, Huesca Pirineos, to Riglos, because they will have to climb from, we think, lower thermal ceilings to the higher ground. So it will be the most interesting point today. So now all the pilots are flying. Start time is 2 hours 45 minutes and maximum altitude 2,000 meters. Okay, pilots ready to start. 4 seconds, going all through the way. And there they go. Hello, welcome back. The pilot just started going eastwards in the first leg to Torrelluela de la Plana, which is 38 kilometers from the start point. You can see the view from Papa Echo, Wojciech Domanski. That's the one who started one of the later. And as you can see, they are making some ridge flying. Now let's take a look about how they are performing, about they are climbing or sinking. And in the meantime, we want to say that all of the pilots started together in 5 seconds except Charlie Tango, who is Klaus Kalmbach flying a GS3. Unfortunately, he is about, I don't know, maybe 1-2 minutes later. And they are passing through Peña Collarada and going to Viescas Valley. Okay, here they are. They are going to Viescas Valley, following the third step. They had to start at about 2,000 meters. And after that, they must climb. They are not losing too much altitude, as you can see. And it's very important to say that today is much less cloudy than yesterday. So from here, from the airfield, we were just spotting about 3 or 4 clouds, some wisps, but nothing more. So that's the path they are following. They are going eastwards. At the moment, it's only one group going all together. And let's take a look about of what's the total distance to the first turn point. Okay, here they are. They've made already about 12 kilometers. It seems it's dividing into two groups. One is going south to Puntal del Puello mountain and to jump to the Oturia mountain we've been talking about these days, which is a very high mountain in middle of the Jacetania Valley, close to Sabiñánigo. And well, now three groups. The first went to the north with Echo Xer, Yankee Oscar, and Sierra, and following are Bravo Whiskey, Bravo Mike with Miguel Monedero, and 7 Alpha Carlos Gonzalez, and some stop to climb. So most of the pilots started to climb into different thermals. Meanwhile, Ayala Trulov with Juliet 7 flying GS3 15 meters jet is going southwards. So we can see the main group stopped here to climb, while Yankee Oscar, 8-5, and 7 Alpha stopped before in another group. So let's take a view of the general view. How is it going? So there are some pilots went to the south, they didn't stop to climb, searching for something better, going to Peñarquisal and Puntagüe, which are two mountains about 1,600 meters. So this southern group is Papa Echo with Wojciech Domanski, 7-0 Aldo Rodriguez, Tango Fox, Mateusz Kruzinski, and Juliet 7. That's Ayala Trulov. Ayala is flying today, which is fantastic. And important to see who is going to take the best thermal. This seems that the southern group is struggling to climb there, so there are some positive moments, but not circling. But the northern group, they are climbing really strong. You can see Yankee Oscar more than 3 meters per second, and the main group 2 or 3 meters per second. Okay, so interesting to see now. John is going to join them about 100 meters lower. Okay, first pilots leaving the thermal. Bravo Whiskey, which is Sergio Lesey at the lead with 2,600 meters. With that group is India Romeo, which is Kevin Ford. At the moment, we don't have his signal. And but he's with them. It's important to remember who is going with the leading group. So Bravo Whiskey is leaving the first. He's leaving Cologne. Maybe he has seen something better. Crossing the Viescas Valley to Jezero zone. Jezero, remember, was one of the turn points at the first day. So look at Sergio Lesey, Bravo Whiskey. Sergio Lesey was talking to us this morning, said that unfortunately this year couldn't train nothing, so I think his first flight, so he's trying his best. And while Sergio's going to the north, let's take a look at the other group, which was formed by Ayala and Gold Victor and Tango Fox. Here they are. So this is the first thermal they are taking. As we're talking, they started really low, about 2,000 meters. So instead of climbing at the beginning, they went over the ridge. And yes, they stopped here because it's very important to get altitude here before crossing the Viescas Valley, as you will see one moment. So this is the situation. You can see most of the gliders in that ridge going from north to south before the main Viescas Valley, and to the east and to the east is the Broto Valley. So they have to pass the Cotefablo Pass mountain. So they are going to climb and go to Garuela Valley, just close to Torruellola de la Plana. So, so please, to our English-speaking spectators, please, we ask you to try to say these difficult Spanish names, okay? And I think maybe you will do it better when 2 or 3 beers at the bar, but it's a difficult question, no? So, back to the race. Some pilots managed to climb to more than 3,000 meters. Very good weather forecast made by David Mayral and Luis Ferreira. Thank you to them, and also José Antonio Blanco. And it's what expected. That what we don't see if there are any clouds or not. In a few moments, we'll show you some web cameras where you will see how's the weather like there. In fact, if there are some cumulus, there will be in the main Pyrenees. Going to the floodlights, expected completely blue. Okay, here you can see the camera web from Alquezar, which is about 10 kilometers, 15 kilometers to the east of Huesca Pyrenees Airport. So you can see it's completely blue. The good thing is there are no cirrus, no high clouds, which is good. So all the sun will hit the terrain, which is fantastic. And there was some scattered cirrus to the east. They didn't appear. Okay, back to our rendering system. 2,300 meters, the higher pilots mean the pilots that try the southern run. You can see they are lower. They are about 2,000 from 2,000 to 2,300 meters. As you can see, most of the pilots are trying, going a little bit to the north, trying the northern part, because usually as north as you are, the northern you are, the higher the thermals are, okay? So today it's completely different from the last 2 days. There's not 1 or 2 leading groups, but the gliders are scattering. So let's take a look about how they are going. So that's the situation. We have about 2 groups, and depending from the groups, I'm flying alone is Bravo Mike, which is Miguel Monedero with his SAW 20. And to the north is Bravo Whiskey, which is Sergio Lesey flying his SH-29. So now Bravo Whiskey tried north and now is going to the mountains of Punta Manchoya, which are about 2,000 meters high. In the meantime, Bravo Mike is going just passing Oturia. Oturia is this big, huge rocky mountain to the north of Sabiñánigo. Sabiñánigo is here at the crossing of the 2 rivers and 2 valleys, from north to south, and the other one, Jacetania, from west to east. So this is the situation, and let's take a look of what's the altitude. So I think Bravo Mike is very good position because he's at the lead with 2,700 meters. And Bravo Whiskey is a little bit more to the north, but 400 meters lower. And the highest one are the leading route that were circling together, which was Sierra with Stanislav Biela, Yankee Oscar, John Gatfield, and 85 with X Maximilian. So let's take a look at the northern group, at their perspective. Take a look that in mountain flying, usually pilots follow the ridges. You can take a look at how they are going over that. They are not running too much. They are going between 150 and 180 kilometers per hour. If you see one speed lower, it could be some losing of signal or someone stopping to climb in a thermal. And there you can see there's already a huge difference of distance between them and to the first point. So here they are. As we were telling you, with 85 and Sierra is also India Romeo, Kevin 4. So the northern group is divided into 2. At the lead is Yankee Oscar Bravo Whiskey, and after them, chasing them, is Max, India Romeo, and Sierra. Okay. So let's remember that this is the first leg going southeast. And the leading pilot is 85, going with Sierra, while the second and third are John Gatfield, 4 points to Maximilian, and Kevin Four, 1 point to John and 5 to Maximilian size. Remember that the winner has 1 point more than the 1 point extra than the others. So the points, for example, are 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and then the winner has not 7 but 8 points. back again. This is the situation about between the first about 13 kilometers to the first point, and the last one's 22 kilometers. As you can see, nobody went in a straight line, but all went to the higher Pyrenees. So the group of the leading championship going even northern, and we must say that the leadings, I think they are joining together. They will join together close to Fiscal, arriving to Valle del Serrablo and Torruella Point. Yes, they are going to rejoin again. And but the ones who were a little bit after them were especially 7-0, who was a little bit lower. He's about 1,800 meters. Let's take a look at their altitude now. Here they are. Remember that the leading pilot or leading group doesn't have to be the real one, because there's a matter of energy. So in a few moments we'll take a look at some scoring. So now let's take a look at the general view from 2D. So here we are. We have they are leading, going straight south to Torrelluela de la Plana. The higher pilots are about 3,000 meters, while the lower ones are between 8,000 and 2,100 meters. They are following the ridge to Cerro Napials. The idea is that we think they will try to climb as high as they can before they jump to the flatland. You will see the difference, okay? You can see clearly the difference to Huesca Airport. And we think that before Total de Guara, which is 2,000 meters, they will climb to the top. It's interesting that as there will be no clouds, they will be able to climb higher. I mean, if there's a cloud with a base of 2,500 meters, they can only climb there, but without cloud, the thermal is available to be climbed to the top. So they could be even higher. So here they are. 7-0 is struggling to climb. Let's see if he's able to climb and rejoin the group. We will see. And the leading group is formed by Yankee Oscar with John Gatfield, India Romeo, Kevin Ford, Sierra, which is Stanislav Biela, and 85, which is Max. Okay, we must say, and after them and chasing them is Bravo Whiskey, who is Sergei Say. Sergei Say was the one who left the thermal and tried something northern. So he lost just some meters, but he's still fighting at the lead. Okay, let's take a look at the leading group. You can see Bravo Mike with his HSW20, which is Miguel Monedero. He's at the lead with about 600 meters of advantage with Yankee Oscar. We must say that the pilot who is at the lead he is flying a glider with less performance. And after Yankee Oscar is the group of 85, Sierra and India Romeo. And after them, chasing is Bravo Whiskey with Sir Leclerc. Just arriving to the first point. Here they are. Difference increasing a little bit, so but very well done for Miguel with his glider. And now they are going to arrive to the first point, which is Torreyuela de la Plana. And after there, they will turn to their right and going through to the flatlands. So this is the general situation. Leading group is almost arriving to the first turning point at Torreyuela de la Plana. There the mountains at about 1,400 meters, and it's important to say that around that place they will turn south through to Rodeyar, where the mountains are about between 1,200 and 1,900 meters. Is the Sierra de Guara, situated to the north of the first point, and there they are. So here we have a scoring of this website where you could see the theoretical positions of each pilot. So at first there would be 85 with his Maximilian, followed by S, who is Stanislav Biela, and then India Romeo Kevin Ford, Yankee Oscar John Gatfield, and Bravo Whiskey with search, let's say. So back to the map. Arriving to the first point, well, they stop to turn. They stop to turn here. And let's see how they are climbing. Okay, this is the leading group. Most of them are already going to the second point, which is Huesca Pirineos. Take a look at the pilots that already had touched the point. And let's take a look also about the altitude, which is very important. That, as you can see in mountains, if you are low, you cannot advance. You get stuck. Like Aldo unfortunately is stuck north of the Torrellola de la Plana point. Fortunately, because yesterday when he went to the first point at Sesue with much better gliders, he was doing quite well. Getting with the leading group, so it's fantastic. So now they climb to about 3,000 meters and they are turning to the second point. Okay, going for the second point. There are two clear groups. One, 5 pilots: Max, Stanislav, Kevin, John, and Serge. Second group formed by 2 Spanish pilots with Eco X-Ray, Pablo Bispe, and 7 Alpha Carlos Gonzalez. And the third group that's arriving to the first point, which is Tango Foch, the Polish pilot, Mateusz Krusinski, Gold Victor, José Antonio Blanco, Bravo Mike, Miguel Monedero, and Juliet 7, Ayala Trulov, Papa Echo, who is Wojciech Domanski. So it's good that Ayala and Bravo Mike came back. They were lower at the South Jacetania Valley. And unfortunately, the only pilot that is lower and stuck, far from the first point, is Aldo Rodriguez. So let's take a look of their speeds. It will be interesting to see because depending on the speed, some can tell us how the conditions are. If you see somebody going about 200 kilometers, means that he's high. He thinks the conditions are good, and he thinks that he will find a very good thermal in front of him. And a lower speed means the pilot doesn't think so, or he's just flying a glider with less performance. Okay, now you see the camera web of Riglos Mountain. Riglos is the third waypoint. It's very famous here because geographical point with these huge mountains, rocky, without no trees, no vegetation, no plants, and they climb straight to the sky, and they will turn just over there. And back to the race. Let's see how they are doing. Situation, the preliminary scoring, should the task finish now. So at the lead is Max Size, followed by Serge Lessay, Bravo Whiskey. Third, Stanislav Biela, Sergio Lessay with Bravo Whiskey, and India Romeo, Kevin Ford. That's the leading group. And after them, chasing them are Bravo Mike, Miguel Monedero, 7 Alpha, and Bravo Bike, Golf Victor, 3 Spanish pilots. So the pilots stopped to climb in Sierra de Guara, and it's a good moment because let's take a look at about how's the difference. What's the difference of distance between them? So that's the difference between the main group and 7 Alpha, who stopped before to climb. There's a difference about 1.2 kilometers. And now okay, that's the difference between these pilots, about 1 kilometer also. And 7 Alpha and Echo X-Ray stopped to climb in Sierra de Guara. I think it's closer to the place where the first group stopped to climb. They are about 20 kilometers from the second point. And that's the altitude they have at this moment. So the leading group is going 2,800. I think they climbed to about 3,000 meters. Meanwhile, Aldo Rodriguez is struggling to climb 2,100 meters. Let's take a look at the last group. So now the last group with Ayala and Wojciech, they are trying to catch 7 Alpha, who was climbing. But I think they won. The 7 Alpha just left. And there's a difference of about 4 or 5 kilometers between them. As you see, you can see clearly how they are leaving the Sierra de Guara ridge, entering the flatlands. So the medium of Sierra de Guara is about 1,000 meters, with peaks reaching from 1,200 to 1,900 meters. And now they are entering the flatlands, where there's usually they're about 560 meters over sea level. They are 15 kilometers from this point. And well, they are going fast, 1,180 kilometers per hour. Not a big difference of altitude between them, as you can see. The good thing is, for example, Wojciech is higher than them, so maybe he could reach them. So they are cruising between 190 or 160 kilometers per hour. The altitude is good. There will be how they manage to climb before coming back to the main ridge of Sierra de Guara and Sierra Belara. So Stanislav and Maximilian, John and Miguel about 10 kilometers from there. And from there they will turn to the west. So it's interesting to say, very important, that Huesca Pyrenees, there was the start of gliding in Spain. There were some world records there many years ago. But unfortunately, some years there was a plan to convert into a commercial airport, and unfortunately the gliding activities were thrown out. They were no more allowed to fly there, so they have to move to the main Santa Cilia airport, where they are flying. But it's a sad situation, because gliding is not more allowed, but even it's not working as a commercial airplane. Almost, I don't know, Luis, 30 passengers every year, something like that. not more, but a lot of infrastructure, a lot of work there, a lot of invested money, but for nothing. And well, that's the thing. So for us, it has a symbolic value that gliding is coming back to Huesca Pirineos. It was a world known around the world years before as Monflorite. It was a huge slope. There were some world records of duration of hours flying, and that's where the gliding started in Spain. Okay, so now arriving to this point with Stanislav at the lead. With Max and John, and also India Romeo, Kevin Fur. Also Bravo Whiskey is with them. So it's important to say thank you, Luis. Luis is the manager of the business here in Santa Cilia Airfield. That there was a world record of 52 hours gliding with done by Vicente Luis Juez in 1945. So with the glider not landing, and I don't know, Luis, I think they were throwing the sandwiches to them from another airplane, and there was some, that times of heroes with that gliders made of wood and silk, and well, that was the start. And from there we arrived to this situation nowadays. Okay, turning the second point, the leading group with John Gatfield, Max, Kevin and Stanislav, they are passing through the east of Huesca City. Dejar un segundo mover, gracias. And let's take a look at the general view. So with this situation, you are looking to the north. The group that was left a little bit before is Aldo Rodriguez with 7-0, Mateusz Kruzinski with Tango Fox. They are the two last pilots of the race. And the second group is arriving to the point. A group of Spanish pilots, 7 Alpha, Carlos González, and Eco X-Ray, his Pablo Bispe with his ASW24, and a third group that you will see in a moment, which is Gold Victor, José Antonio Blanco flying a discus, Papa Eco, Wojciech Domanski, and Juliet 7, that is Ayala Trulov. Ayala is going very fast. I think they are passing. He's passing Papa Eco and Gold Victor. And let's take a look here. Well, that's the situation of the last pilot, who is Aldo Rodriguez. That's the problem, especially in rich mountain, in mountain flying. If you have if you are stuck one moment, you can lose a lot of time because you cannot go on like flying in the flatlands. So here's the leading group. Let's take a look at the distance between them and the chasing group. We must see, as Ace says also, that this is Huesca city. I don't know, Luis, 50,000 people living, something like that, just 50,000 people. And it's in the flatlands, and from there you go to Monrepos mountain pass and channels, and from there you can go to the Jacetania Valley and the skiing places. You can see that they are not following the line that the black line you can see. They are going in a northern route because they want to arrive to the Sierra de Guara as soon as they can. Let's take a look to it. Thank you, Luis. So you can see this deviation of about 30 degrees. They are following this ridge, and their altitude is 2,000 meters. I think they should stop to climb. Isn't that, Luis? They should stop to climb before trying to go to the third point. That's what we're talking about. In the flatlands, with the lower ground, the thermals, also the top of the thermals are lower, so they have to maybe struggle a little bit to climb and be able to jump to the mountains again. Let's take a look at the distance difference between the main group and the chasing group. So you can see there's a difference of about 6 kilometers between the leading group and the chasing group, which is formed by Echo X-Ray and 7 Alpha. As Luis was telling us, they are deviating a lot. So that's the path they are having. I don't know, Luis, maybe 30 degrees from the straight line. Yes, 30 degrees. And interesting to see the altitudes. And also very important, look at the speed. Look at how they were from the north to the second point. They were flying about between 180 and 200 kilometers. And now they are only 140. They are saving energy. So they have more altitude to arrive and have more chances to find the thermal. So it's important to say that let's remember that this is the third day, the third task of the Sailplane Grand Prix in Santa Cilia de Jaca, in Pyrenees in Jacetania Valley. The competition is taking place in 15-meter class with different gliders like GS3, Ventus 3, SHW29, Discus CS, SHW24 and SZD55. They are 14 pilots. We must say also that the first day was cancelled because of the weather, but second and third day there were tasks scored, and at the leading you can see there are the leading pilots of the whole championship with 85 Maximilian Size, Yankee Oscar and Kevin Ford. So these are the leading pilots. As you can see, they are deviating a lot. So they stopped to try to climb, but there was nothing. They just made one turn and they keep on working. So in fact, they just passed the fourth point, which is Savalles. They didn't. That's not the point that is intended to be done, but they will go back over their path to this point. This is the general view. So you can see all pilots trying to arrive to the mountains as soon as they can. And look at their speeds. They change from the band from 1070, 80 to 200, and now they are going pretty slower. So the pilot who is made a deviation and is climbing is Miguel Monedero. Bravo, Mike. He is alone. And we will see if he's able to catch good altitude. It's about 1 meter per second. It's not the best, but his glider is not as good as the leading group, so he has to stop maybe before. And in the meantime, we take a look of how the leading group is following the ridge. Now they are going westwards to the third point. Third point, we might remember, is Riglos, which is that huge mountain. There they have a landable field, and the waypoint is called E04. And why do they follow the ridge? Because usually with the wind, the ridge usually gets more heated than the flatlands, and even if there's not wind enough to fly on dynamic conditions, but the ridge triggers thermals with the air rising from the flatlands, and that's why they are following this bridge. So back again, this is the view of the second point of Montaña de Riglos, where they are going. As you can see, the sky completely blue, no clouds. We were looking at other camera webs and there were no clouds there. And then back to the race, let's look at how they are following the ridge. So the first group divided into two. So the first group is John Gatfield with Stanislav Biela. This is close to Sierra de Loarre. Look at there. As you can see, this ridge is completely has an orientation to the south, to the sun, and also with the breeze they should have. And in the meantime, look at how Max is passing through their south, and following them, Charlie Tango, who is Klaus. Klaus is coming back. He started a little bit later, but is lower than the others. So it seems that the thermal that John and Stanislav have is not very good, but they are not very high, so they must stop. They are 1,600 meters, and it's nice because it seems that they are rejoining. That's the situation. I think Max is going. Yeah, Max is going with Bravo Mike, with Miguel Monedero. Very nice. And somehow they are rejoining a little bit. Let's look at the difference of distance to the third point. So that's the situation. Max at the lead, closely followed by John Gatfield and Stanislav Bielsa. Now it seems that the thermal of John and Stanislav is better. Now they are climbing, and we will see if this climb gives them a difference above Max. Okay, and following them, just in a path through the middle, are Juliet 7 Ayala and Charlie Tango, who is Klaus Kalmbach, and Bravo Mike Miguel Monedero. Fantastic, because especially for Ayala and Klaus, they were a little bit far away, and I think they recovered distance to them. And so these are the altitudes. In fact, I think Max took a nice path because he didn't stop to climb, and in the meantime, John and Stanislav, Sierra and Yankee Oscar, they stopped. But look at how the difference is not a lot. So I think Max did it well not stopping there. It was not a good thermal, although they are not very high to look for many places. We must say this zone has not many landables. At the south, yes, but at the north, not. They should rely on Latre or Baragua landing. So it's interesting that they are passing just through Castillo de Loarre. Castillo de Loarre is a medieval castle, the best preserved all around Europe. Very nice place to see, as you can see. It's a rocky castle, very nice, and in a fantastic place to visit, close to Sierra de Loarre and Sierra de Guara. Okay, thank you, Luis, for indications. We are going back to the race to see how they are performing. So it seems now, take a look how they are turning to the west. I think they are going now straight to the point. And let's take a look at the altitudes. It's very important now. They are over rocky space. Max is at the lead, but it's lower than John Gatfield. Stanislav climbed much, and he's following John. And in the southern route, through the ridge are going Juliet 7 with Bravo Mike. So that's the situation. Now it seems that John stopped to climb, but I think if it's good. And at the north, Stanislav, remember he stopped to climb with John. He remained there and stopped to climb again with Klaus Kalmbach. Okay. It's interesting. Now I think, Luis, it's a very interesting moment because the leading group divided into some small groups or even flying alone, and in the other hand, the chasing group get closer to them, a little bit lower. What do you think? Will they arrive to the leading group? Yes or no?
Yo qué sé. A ver. Well, no, tampoco.
Back again, look at the altitude as you can see, and we explained before, they are not very high. Okay, they are okay for the place where they are. They have no problems with landing fields. Look at the right of your screen. But now is the moment to climb. And you can see now Max has a very good thermal, and John is going to join his. So the two of the leaders are going to join again. John is about 200-300 meters lower, but Stanislav was still climbing before, and now everybody's climbing. As you can see, everybody's getting altitude to arrive to the third point. So now they are, as you can see, there was some movement, and here we can see what could be the theoretical situation. So there would be Max at the lead, but John is again in second position. Now look, they are climbing together. There's a difference of about 100 100 meters. In third position there will be Stanislav, and in fourth position there's 7 Alpha, Carlos Gonzalez with his ASW 27. Well done, Carlos. Pilot from Spain. And India Romeo, who is Kevin Ford. Okay, and very nice to see also Ayala and Bravo Mike. Ayala with Juliet 7 and Bravo Mike with Miguel Monedero. They are back to the race. Okay, we go again to the race. And well, the difference now between Max and John is nothing. About 100 meters, but John left before. I think John outclimbed a little bit Max. In fact, I think when he arrived, I think he found something before this thermal and he could climb going straight ahead. And this is the following the chasing group. We were saying Ayala Trulov with Juliet 7 and Bravo Mike, Miguel Monedero with his 20. They are performing very well. I think maybe they saw not where maybe they didn't know where to go, but where not to go. Okay, and they are climbing better. They are about 500 meters lower than the leading group. And let's take a look, because I think they are arriving to the next point. The next point is Riglos, which was 44 kilometers from Huesca Pirineos. Here they are. And look at the difference of distance. This is La Peña. It's a lake and also a Landegan field. And let's take a look of what speed are they doing. So they are running again. Look at that. So they recovered and going to the third point, Riglos. When they turn Riglos, they will go back on their feet to Savalles. I think they will use the same route. Maybe they cross with their followers. And let's take a look at it. Okay, they are arriving to this third point. They are crossing Gallego River that goes to Zaragoza city. So Max and John and Stanislav, they are making the point. It seems that India Romeo Kevin Ford is a little bit after them. I think he was left there. He is not higher than them, so turning this point of Riglos and Gallego River and going to the fourth point. The fourth point is Savalles, which is 27, going eastwards. And I think they just touched the point and maybe they are going to climb. So John stopped, and I don't know if Stanislav and Max are stopping there. These are the altitudes. So Max and John, there's a difference about 50 meters only. So it seems John stopped to climb, while Stanislav and Max kept on going. Okay, as you know, sometimes there are some signals lost, and let's take a look of how is it going. So here you have, after touching the third point at the lead, look at the lead, is 85 max size with 2,200 meters with Stanislav Biesla close to him, same altitude. And after them, with the same altitude also, is John. I think John stopped there. I think he made 1 or 2 complete turns, but I think he didn't catch nothing. So now I think John lost about 1 or 2 kilometers. And after them is India Romeo. India Romeo has the same altitude, so they left him. And in the other direction, you can see Charlie Tango, Klaus, Juliet 7, Ayala, and Bravo Mike, Miguel Monedero. They're going to cross them now. I think there's a huge difference, about 10 kilometers of difference. And this is the main situation, you can see. Unfortunately, Bravo Whiskey and 7-0 are very far. And the other third group, well, Aldo rejoined a little bit. Aldo is catching Echo X-Ray and Gold Victor. And the one that now is went struggling is Bravo Whiskey with its search. So at the moment, this could be the situation. Look at that. So Max leading with Stanislav, John third, because you know he lost some seconds turning. After them is India Romeo. Charlie Tango is going the other way, and 7 Alpha after India Romeo. Okay, now they are crossing these two groups, and I think they are joining in the same thermal. Bravo Mike is coming from the left of from the right of the screen, and Juliet 7, while the others, Yankee Oscar 85 and Sierra, were coming from your left. Okay, after made the third point. Ayala thinks it's not a good thermal. She's leaving. We must remember Ayala is the only woman to fly here. Bravo for Ayala. Ayala did quite well at the World Woman World Gliding Championship in Garay last year. And okay, here they are climbing. The altitude is between 2,500 and 2,200 meters. So John is leaving. So it will be very interesting because now who is leaving first, if they're managed or not. Let's look again a view of general view. And interesting to see that at this moment, the higher pilot was Mateusz Kruzinski with more than 3,500 meters. Sorry, in fact, there's some mishap here. Tango Fox is with Papa Echo, a little bit lower to the north in Pico del Águila, 1,600 meters. And let's take a look at the speeds, how they are going. And first, so here they are. You can see the names because sometimes it's difficult to take a look at the call sign. And look, John, this leading group that is moving. They move between them Yankee Oscar, Sierra 85 and India Romeo. Unfortunately, India Romeo, we don't see him a lot, many times, but he's there with them. And passing again, So it's how they are moving. They are crossing with this second group. Gold Victor and Echo XR7 Alpha and 7-0. So bravo for 7-0. 7-0, you know, it was stuck, I think, 15 minutes, something like that. So we must say Aldo is a very good pilot. He knows very well his glider, his 20. He's done hundreds of hours flying with him. And he is recovering distance, not to the leading group, but to the chasing group. He's doing quite well. Look at how he's climbing. And now he's following. Okay. So we can see a web camera from to a very close from the place where the leading group is, Galatal. We can see Gratal. It's blue with maybe some scattered cirrus, but nothing special. And from there we can see the situation. The leading group is the same, 85 Sierra Yankee Oscar India Romeo, and well, Ayala recovered a lot. Bravo for her. Ayala is now at the 5th place. Fantastic, Ayala, well done. And back to the race. You can see they are crossing. Let's take a look at their speeds. So the group coming from the east, I think they are running slower because they are a little bit lower than the others, while the leading group climbed before and they are going a little bit faster. But look, that they are not going so fast as they were before, about half an hour before. Okay. So Carlos Gonzalez stopped to climb. He's climbing over Sierra de Guara. And chasing him are 7-0 with Aldo, Gold Victor, José Antonio Blanco. José Antonio Blanco is a local pilot. And I think Papa Echo Wojciech also stopped to climb. Okay. So now let's take a look of how much altitude, how much kilometers do they have left to goal. So it's the leading group is between 76 to 77 kilometers. Catching them is Ayala Trulov. So the difference is 16 kilometers. And after them is Carlos Gonzalez, 20 kilometers from Ayala. Now you are seeing Carlos turning. I think Aldo will catch him and start climbing again. And very close to them is José Antonio Blanco and Pablo Vispe and Wojciech. And from there, already a huge distance, Miguel Monedero and Aldo. So this is the position. I think they are about They are arriving to Sabayes, fourth point. Okay, this is Sabaye village, very nice field, very nice village, close to the Sierra de Guara. Very nice medieval villages in that zone, it's fantastic. And back to the race, okay, turning the fourth point. So this is the leading group. They just turned Sabayes. Now they're going northeast 26 kilometers left, and they are crossing Sierra de Guara and arriving to Sierra Belarra. Very nice place also. That's it. Okay, now they rejoined again. There's a movement 2, 3, and then one is left or leaves. And I don't think if there is some difference of altitude between them. No, they are in between 150 meters. Very nice. So the win of the day, I think it's between these four pilots. So, and we must say the 5 pilots, because I think Charlie Tango, Klaus, is joining them. Yes, he has joined, it's fantastic. And here they are. So this is Argis Road. So it's important to say that this group is 5 pilots. You see 4, but India Romeo, Kevin 4 is with them. The pilot who has the maximum altitude there is, I think, is Sierra, and the lower one is Charlie Tango, Klaus. They stop to climb there. Look at the strength of the thermal. Well, John is leaving. Meanwhile, Charlie Tango and Sierra, they are still turning a little bit. Interesting, because Charlie Tango is, I think, the lower one. Sí. Now we can see the preliminary situation. John at the lead, followed by Max, India Romeo, Kevin Ford, and Stanislav. After them, after the first group is Ayala with Juliet 7 and Bravo Mike in Papa Echo. Okay. And now let's take a look. We're always following the leading group. Let's take a look at how's the general situation. So here they are, first group, and to the right you can see Bravo Whiskey, who is Serge Leclerc. Unfortunately, Serge, he didn't make the second point. I think he got stuck. And in the meantime, to the left, the other pilots are rejoining. Gold Victor, 7 Alpha, and Papa Echo. So this is the general situation from our perspective of 2 dimensions. Bravo Whiskey is not on the race. So leading group is 85 Sierra India Romeo Yankee Oscar, and I think Klaus got a little bit. I think he is the lower one. He's 1,300 meters, so I think he had to stop. He couldn't cross Sierra Guara. And then following them, Juliet 7 with Ayala, and Gold Victor Bravo Mike 7-0, 7 Alpha, the Spanish group of pilots, also with Papa Echo Wojciech. So they are turning over Sierra de Guara. Look at Echo X-Ray now is leaving to the third point of Riglos, followed by Papa Echo and 7 Alpha. Here are the pilots. So Ayala crossed them. Ayala is passing south of Sierra de Guara to the fourth point of Savalles. And let's go to the lead. Here they are turning. They climb, but I don't think they didn't climb a lot. They are still at the south of Jacetania Valley, Luis. To the east. Near Ainsa. Thank you. And let's take a look at what's the distance to Fenillosa. So they are only 10 kilometers or 11. So they are crossing the Guarguera zone with the Rio Guarga. Look at how they are traveling 150, not too fast, between 8.5 and 9 kilometers to the turn point number 5, and the leaders are only about 54 kilometers from the finish line. Klaus, who rejoined them, I think there was a little bit lower, so I think he got stuck before crossing the Sierra de Guara. And Ayala is 20 kilometers after them. And let's take a look at the theoretical calculation of if they have the energy to arrive to the goal. I mean, it's going to the 5th point of Fenillosa, then going to the reporting point and arriving over Santa Cilia with 1,000 meters high over sea level. They still don't have the energy. Today the good thing is we don't have so much wind, because yesterday and the other days they had very strong wind from the front of the glider, so it was the calculation systems had some issues because sometimes you don't have these things accounting. So Max stopped to climb, and meanwhile John and Stanislav, they left together. Here they are. Let's take a look at the altitude. So Max is about 200 meters higher. He's still climbing. I think the climb is much better than at the beginning. So it's a very interesting point. So Max at the moment is not leading the race. With kilometers left to the finish line, but I think he's climbing very well. Look at that. I think it is a very, very good and interesting moment. And look at the arrival height. Look at that. So that's I think, Luis, that's the moment. Climbing, Max was climbing very fast, very good. So now there's a difference of about 400 meters. So I think now maybe Max could run a lot, trying to catch the leading group. Here we have the energy. In theory, is the altitude they need still to arrive. And let's take a look at the theoretical position. So the lead would be to Sierra with Stanislav, India Romeo. Remember, India Romeo, sometimes we don't see him because of technical issues. 85. And look, it completely changed because now the system recalculated it. So even though 85 is after the leading group, in fact, he has the advantage. And now I think Max would be in local. Could be interesting. Now I think, Luis, you are going to see a final glide with maybe, I don't know if Stanislav and John have to stop or maybe just fly slower. But for sure, I think Max will be a very fast, long final glide. It's fantastic. And look, let's take a look at the difference of distance to goal. So now there is a difference of 7 kilometers, and also very interesting point that the polar of the gliders, when they get to the faster line, the faster zone, they decrease much. So it's very important calculation. Look at that. So now the difference is 8 kilometers with a total distance left of 45. So which is about, so Max has about 15% more of distance to cover. And look at that. Now let's look at the difference of speeds. and the goal arrival height. Look at it, that's the important screen. So look at that difference of about 700 meters of potential energy, and look at how the difference of speeds. So let's take a look if possible. Okay, well, in the final grade we'll see what's the difference. Max still hasn't arrived to Fenillosa Point. And look how John and Stanislav, they are following the ridge. Let's see if how they are performing. And interesting also with Yankee, Oscar and Sierra is Kevin. Kevin 4 is with them, with an altitude that we will see just in 1 second. And back to the speed. Look at the speed. That's the thing. That's a difference of 40 kilometers of speed difference. And remember how the distance to goal was about, I think, 8 kilometers. So now Max is going faster. Now there's a difference of about 6 kilometers, 6.5 kilometers. It's curious because Max is not running too much. We will see. Maybe he's finding a nice place where he's not. Maybe he's climbing. Yes, there was the explanation. He was climbing, so he was recovering energy. And the distance is decreasing. 5 kilometers of distance between Max, who is the chaser to the main group, who is Stanislav with Yankee Oscar, and India. Now you can see the difference of 5.3 kilometers is decreasing. So Max is going 50 kilometers faster than the leading group. There's a difference of about 500 meters. So Luis, who is the manager of the airfield and the competition manager, what do you think? Is Max going to catch the leading group?
Yes, I think yes, because he's faster. He's much faster.
Okay, fantastic. So that's the voice of the experience. And look how the distance is less distance there. I think John stopped to try to climb, but he couldn't. Now Stanislav stopped, and Max is 800 meters higher. I think Yankee, Oscar, Sierra and Kevin, they are too low to arrive, so they should stop to climb. And they must stop to climb, and John and Max is going fast. So look at the difference and look at the difference of energy. Let's take a look change or not. So now the difference is only 2.5 kilometers. Fantastic job of Max. And the distance, the arrival height is this one. So there's the thing that 700 meters. So that thermal, this they passed. Vale, pues espera. So now Max is passing them. You can see how Max is passing them. Look at that. Max is leaving them back. The distance is that Max is closer to the finish line. So if there's no problems, Max will be the winner again of the race. So we'll have to make him an interview again.
Yes.
And that's the leading group. Okay, we can see here the whole bunch of gliders. Bravo Whiskey has landed at the airfield, and look how look at the position of 8-5 in front. That was the leading group, but they lost that thermal. Are being overpassed by them, and in the meantime the other ones are far away. Many of them still managing to do the Savalles point. They are about 2,000 meters. So that's the photo of them. So it seems they're a smaller group of Papa Echo, Echo X-Ray and 70, 2,000 meters. The one I lost is Klaus. I don't know if Klaus has managed to go higher. I don't see him, but there were some issues. I didn't see him before. And go back to the race. So that will be the winner. Look at how John and Stanislav and Kevin, they are still. Look at how they are still climbing. They don't have the altitude to climb, so Maximilian overpassed them already by 6 kilometers. And well, Stanislav recovered energy climbing, but I think Max is done. Max has done the winner. Now from there, to the turn point 6, finish north, which is the reporting point. So look at the difference of 8 kilometers. Max is only 24, so has about 29 kilometers left, because from reporting point is 5 kilometers. And we will be, I think the winner is pretty clear. We will take a look at who the fighter will be for the third, second and fourth positions. It seems they are going a little bit to the north. I think they are trying to follow the main ridge. I think the climb was not very good. Now they are climbing better. Okay. Here they are. And take a look at general view. And that's the general photo. Max at the lead with look, increasing distance, most 10 kilometers from the main group, and then there's a huge difference to Charlie Tango, who still hasn't made the 5th point, and the other pilots with Bravo Mike, Papa Echo, Echo X-Ray, Pablo Bispe. They still haven't made the Fenillosa point. The group still has about 70 kilometers left. Ayala is in the middle. I think Ayala maybe is able to catch Klaus Kalmbach. It's very interesting. It will be also a nice race between both of them. And there's another group of Aldo and Miguel that was left back. So here is the situation of the head of the race. Max alone to the west, and Kevin, John, and Stanislav all going together to the north, close to Jacetania Valley. There are the next ones after the main group, the race of the head, Ayala with Miguel. Klaus, I think he must be in front of them, but at the moment we don't have any signal from them. And they are not going fast, only 140. The other group that just made point number 4th, which is Saballes, following the ridge to the 5th point. They are about 26 kilometers. And let's take a look at what should be the theoretical situation. Clearly at the lead, and for sure winner of the day is again Max, 85, and pretty close between them are Stanislav with Sierra, John with Yankee Oscar, and Kevin with India Romeo. And then Juliet 7 and Bravo Mike, they are going to the 5th point of Fenillosa. Charlie Tango Klaus is at the end, but I think he's not there. He should be in the middle. There's some issues there. Now they are passing Peñarol. You can see at the altitude, and let's take a look at the speed. They are passing Peñarol. Now I think the following group, they are accelerating a lot. So I think Stanislav is going 215 meters, but they are 16 kilometers after Max. You can see the arrival high, like how Stanislav and Maximilian have similar, but Stanislav is after him. So it's interesting. Let's look at the difference between Stanislav and Max. So this is the difference. There's a difference of 13 kilometers between the leader, Max, and the chasing group with 3 pilots who are India Romeo, Kevin Ford, Sierra, Stanislav Biela, and Yankee Oscar Gatfield. John Gatfield, I think they have they're pretty poor difference between them. So you see there's a difference of 14 kilometers. This is the reporting point, the Finnish North Point. 85 Max is doing 154. So now Max turning the reporting point, 4 kilometers left. No sé por qué me sale esto. Okay, Max arriving, 2 kilometers, going pretty fast. And the interesting thing will be the next 3 pilots. 1 kilometer to arrive. It's interesting to say that between the reporting point and the finish line, for security reasons, they are asked not to turn, not to try to search any thermal in between, because other pilots could be arriving fast in their path. So Max just got it, 1,000 meters. And okay, he's done. Congratulations, Mac. And now back to a very interesting situation. 3 pilots, So at the moment, Stanislav is with India Romeo. You don't see him, but he's with India Romeo. And there's a interesting fight between Stanislav and John. Is a 4 kilometers difference. I don't know. I don't think John is able to catch Stanislav, but he's going about was going 20 kilometers faster, and their altitude is, let's see if there's a huge difference of altitude. So John is 1,700. And here they are, Stanislav and Kevin. They are about 1,300, 1,000 meters, while Jan Kioska is 1,600. I think Jan Kioska should accelerate a little bit, I don't know. Remember, there's a limit of 1,000 meters. They cannot pass the finish line lower than that. And let's take a look. So it's a difference of less than 5 kilometers. John is trying to catch Stanislav and Kevin, but I think he won't be able. Unfortunately, I think he won't be able to catch them. So Stanislav and India Romeo arriving to the last report, and John is after them 5 kilometers. John is not going to catch them. So very interesting. Then we don't see at the screen, but who will be the winner, Stanislav or India Romeo or Kevin? I think Kevin is a little bit higher than Stanislav. So we will see who is able to win. Okay, Stanislav on final glide, 225 with India Romeo. I think India Romeo will beat Stanislav, is in front of him. And Stanislav is just 1 kilometer from the finish line, 1.4. So India Romeo second, Stanislav third, and after them will arrive John Gatfield. Remember, just half an hour before was a group of 4 pilots, and they just divided, and here he is. Now this is John just made the reporting point. And okay, John will be the fourth. John is only just past the reporting point. He's only less than 4 kilometers left. So John is arriving. John will be the fourth. Congratulations, great race, great. Very nice to see how Max took that decision. I think it was the very important. And okay, John passing the finish line. Congratulations, great race, great time. 2 different races, first leg, and until the flatlands, very fast, 3,000 meters. And then struggling to arrive to the mountains again. So thank you for following us. We want to thank you, Brian Spragley, Benjamin Neglet, Claire Elliott, Sebastián Alexander, Antoine and Angel Casado. And also here helping at the airfield, thank you to Sergio and Conrado, managing all broadcasting, videos and photos, David Maida and Luis Ferreira, Adolfo, and also Paula, Fernando, and Jesus Rojo, who these 3 were the towing pilots. Thank you, everybody, and please stay tuned for tomorrow. Thank you very much. See you tomorrow.
Today in the third ride of the race, the pilots have a wave race, a type of meteorology conditions that helps a lot because they can get a lot of altitude and a lot of speed. It's gonna be a good experience for all of those pilots that are aligning on the threshold. So I think they're gonna enjoy it a lot. Today also is a very windy day. Those are really good conditions for gliding because we have 270 wind and the runway is aligned with the same degrees. So for the towing is gonna be very helpful for the aero tow pilots because they're gonna have less weight to tow. And then for the pilots on the way to Jaca, they're gonna have a very good tailwind conditions and they're gonna have a better ground speed.
Hoy han cambiado las condiciones meteorológicas y toca vuelo de ondas. Vamos a ver qué opinan los pilotos sobre la tarea de hoy.
I fly quite a lot the wave in here in the Pyrenees, in Sardinia, but well, it will be very challenging today for sure.
Yeah, wave flight is very, very different. The climb is generally not at the same places than in thermals. You fly differently. You often try to fly higher than you do in thermals, so it's very different. And for racing, it's very very different as well because not many people, and that's also not my case, are used to racing in wave. So we'll see.
La verdad es que el vuelo de onda es muy bonito. Habitualmente no lo practicamos pues nosotros que somos de la zona centro no tenemos estas condiciones, pero sí es un vuelo muy bonito y nos gusta mucho. Lo que pasa es que el vuelo de onda es un vuelo mucho más técnico y las diferencias entre ir por el sitio bueno o el sitio malo pues son definitivas. Pueden suponer que te vayas al suelo o que puedas hacer la tarea. Hay veces que tenemos nubes lenticulares, esas que parecen como ovnis que nos marcan el camino, y si hay esas nubes pues es más fácil, pero si no las hay pues puede ser es más complicado que ayer, sí.
It's my first time I'm flying here in Pyrenees. I love Santa Cilia, Pyrenees and everything. So far it wasn't so great. During the Copa Pyreneos I was training myself and it was very nice experience because we were flying rather low than high, so I can probably use it today.
Yo la verdad es que suelo volar en el llano, la montaña no tengo tanta experiencia y en onda tengo muy poca experiencia, así que la tarea va a ser, para mí la veo difícil. Bueno, yo creo que es difícil para todos, pero bueno, los que tenemos menos experiencia vamos a sufrir un poco más. Pero además yo creo que hay que coger la onda, salir luego a térmica, que probablemente será baja, mala y rota, y luego volver a enganchar la onda para volver. Entonces, bueno, pues la tarea es difícil. En todo caso, el día es bonito para volar, intentar coger la onda.
The start line will be open. Second day of competition. Task number 2 was a task that was intended to be with wave conditions or thermal conditions, and finally pilots didn't use the wave. They just used thermals and some moments of rich flying. It was very interesting, and now we are going to talk with the winner. Again, Maximilian Saiz. What do you think of today? It was expected to be some wave, but I think you didn't use it.
There was some on just west of the first turn point, but I think some of us could have climbed in there easily, but I don't think it would have been quicker because the cloud were already at 3,000 meters, and there was not too many cloud gaps further on the route, so going above the clouds would probably not have been very quick and useful. So
okay, and well, nice finish with John.
Yes.
And John just crossing 2 valleys from here. He decided to go to the north a little bit, but it didn't work. So you go straight. So good decision.
Yeah.
Huh?
Yeah. Well, I think that was kind of normal Grand Prix tactic because he knew that I was I don't know 50 or 100 meters above him, so he had to try something differently if he wanted to get in front of me. So he tried it. It could have worked because he got a very good climb, but it was, I think it was too close from the finish to make a difference. It maybe 20 kilometers before that it would have been a good choice, but that was too late. I think.
and especially going to the first point, which is the longest leg. There were some places where the reach work,
Yes.
so you could rely on it.
Yes, I think it worked very well on the with the northwesterly wind on some areas. I don't know the name of the ridges, but before the first turn point. But I was able to stay quite high above the ridges most of the time. So I think that was still the quicker route.
Okay, so congratulations again, Max.
Thank you.
Thank you. With us is Stanislav, who made the 4th of the day. How was the flight today?
It's not easy. Strong wind. I don't like strong wind. When is wave connected with thermals, it is difficult weather. Yes.
Congratulations, Stanislav.
Thank you very much.
We have with us John Gatfield, second position of the day, like yesterday. So first of all, congratulations, John.
Thanks, Joma.
So nice finish with Max, and there was a difference of about 50 meters, and you tried something different. Explain us.
I did. Well, he joined me in about the last 70 kilometres, and we were neck and neck. And then he got one little pull and got about 40 metres higher. And I thought, I'll try something slightly different. Turned right onto the rotor line, and I had a 5 metre climb, and was climbing well, but Max was 5k in front, so couldn't catch him.
Okay, and another second position, fantastic position for you.
I'm
huh?
happy. I'm happy.
Okay, so in general, how was the flight? Tricky, difficult?
The start was difficult. There was a lot of cloud flying, trying to find the wave. I started 200 metres, I think, lower than the permitted height. And I think at Hacker, the first climb I found, I was 1,200 metres. I thought I was in trouble. But then, bang, 5 metres all the way back up to about 2,200. And then I just pushed and used the ridges.
Yeah.
And I think I was on my own for half the flight.
Okay.
Yeah, great fun, really nice.
Okay, so congratulations.
Thank you.
Thank you, John.
Thank